Hey there folks, let's take a second and focus on something that's happening. You know how your life comes to a stop at least once every day? Well, the world is still spinning. Seconds continue to go by and they won't stop until you die. No matter how many tears you cry, time won't stop, no matter how hard you try. Shit happens. People die and others will refuse to listen when you cry out. Life will always give you injury, but guess what? It's people that add the insult you deserve to go without. You spend so much of your time begging for the attention of everyone surrounding you, you forget what you need to do and the choices you need to choose for you to truly be you. This game will go on forever, and despite your efforts, you will always lose. No amount of training or preparing will ever teach you how to hide it when you're bruised. Because all along you'll be convinced that your greatest opponent is really yourself, when in actuality, the enemy that is constantly beating you is actually everybody else. You've implanted trust in the people closest to you, called friends and family, and you'll be lucky if they don't turn their backs on you and cut you deeply. Then there is everyone else. The people that you bump into every day, the ones that take your money and keep it, although they promise to repay. The people that smile at you as you pass them in the grocery store just to laugh at or ignore, the ones outside, all the people, sleeping on the floor. You see, everyone has a certain standard that makes them better than somebody else, because those who don't are like the guy at my school who graduated and killed himself. Everyone is afraid to reach the bottom of the food chain because they know there lies the truth that everyone is actually equal, and it is love and kindness that are the proof, because deep down in your heart you want to love everyone and to be loved the same, yet it is unloved that you remain, and for them it's the same, all because you're too caught up in the classes of citizenship game. Once upon a time it was a farmer that could not marry the daughter of wealth, because it seemed that the farmer over the course of his life didn't do well enough for himself. So society drew a line between those who were worthy of bliss and those who weren't, never taking into consideration what each side would lose or the thought it might hurt. Society's not so different today, although it's years past all of that bullshit, because there are still people wearing labels that may appear right, but don't truly fit. These labels range from different connotations to cultures to stereotypes, etc. They've created more divides than ever seen before, so equality is an exiting era. Bum, slut, junkie, fag, Bible thumper, pothead, sleaze, criminal. This is just the beginning. This English language can't seem to find new words, so they just give old ones new meaning. But whether original or not, the label marks the spot where criticism's to be directed. In a society so hell-bent on equality, it's funny how hate has infected every good thing man has attempted. Let's set up vast parades to celebrate sexual freedom in our nation, but if you believe anything against it, we'll kill you with a God-fearing passion. The streets are lined with people screaming, "Save the whale, save the trees." Meanwhile, I'm too busy with a man half dead and bleeding, screaming, "People, save these! Save these," the people that are just like you, but are covered by the label drug addict, causing you to think there's nothing you need to do. People no longer have faces. You're much more likely to see their label than their face. That's why you tell people you saw a hobo, not a man crying with a rope holding his pants up to his waist. But perhaps the homeless label is too far etched into your brain to change, so let's talk about the people you interact with every single day. How about the girl with slut written all over her face? I bet you just rolled your eyes when you heard she was pregnant, eh? What about the guy that had it all, sports, girls, and pockets full of cash? I bet you didn't even call to see how he was doing when you found out his dad died in that car crash. You may not be a bully, and I'm not saying any of us will ever be saints, but what good is there in separating the saints from the bullies in the first place? I bet just thinking about it now, you can't remember your last label-free day, where you just saw everyone as they actually are, lost souls trying to find their way, because after all, that's all we really are. Lost souls trying to find somewhere solid to place our feet. We create these labels as guides to help us know where we are and who we're meant to be. But the labels are so limited and truly only represent the blind leading the blind, because instead of revealing truth in life, they only ever serve as a way to remind us of not only who we are, but who we aren't, what society says we'll never be. A slut will never be loved, a druggie will never change, and a homeless man will never succeed. This is the world that your labels have created. I hope you're proud of your masterpiece. Hypocrites that decide to drive home drunk, then discuss their plans for world peace. How about we take away the guns from the trigger happy and set for ourselves a new standard? Because saving the trees is great, but when your kids ask if you love people or things, how do you think you should answer?